guys, Kru Neil here with another episode of Muay Thai Saved Me. Alongside of me is my business partner, Edwin Lopez. And across from us is one of our members, Grace Moon. If it's your first time tuning into our podcast, guys, just know Muay Thai Saved Me is about basically bringing on people that Muay Thai has changed their life and impacted them in a very positive way. So today we thought Grace would be a great person to bring on board, and she can kind of share a little bit about herself. Grace, for anybody that doesn't know you, could you tell them a little bit about who Grace Moon is, you know, where you were born, where you were raised, you know, and who you are as a person, what are your hobbies, like that kind of thing.
Oh, I hate these questions where they're like, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, what would you like to know?
All right. Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Diamond Bar. I grew up in LA.
Oh,
yeah.
Diamond Bar.
Oh, you know Diamond Bar?
I know Walnut. I grew up in Walnut. Yeah. Most people, when I say Walnut, they're like, what?
No one ever knows, yeah.
Yeah, but Diamond Bar, that's
I'm like,
cool.
what?
It's right, the city next across, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So you're from Diamond Bar, and...
Oh, yeah. I was born and raised in Diamond Bar. No, I hung around there a lot during high school.
Okay.
There's a lot of good food locations there.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
I went to Diamond Bar High School.
Okay. Because I know,
Did you go to Walnut High School?
I didn't, but I have family members that went to Walnut High, and I know Walnut High.
Oh, there is a Walnut High.
Yeah, that was
Walnut
like
High.
our rivalry.
Yeah.
Like our biggest rival.
Yeah. I know football games are crazy. Football games are crazy.
It gets intense.
Yeah.
During
how
1
long?
year.
So you grew up in Diamond Bar, and then you now live in Glendale?
In Glendale.
Okay. When did you move to Glendale?
Just 2 years back for school. I go to school out in Pasadena, so I moved over here. I didn't want to be too close to campus, but also not too far.
Okay.
So I was like doing a little research around the area, and then Glendale.
Glendale's a nice city. I've honestly, I'm just starting to learn more about Glendale. I really like it here. It's very nice. Yeah, it's clean.
It's real dope.
One thing that I love is I was walking down the alleyway right here, and last week, you know, they have these like trash cans behind the businesses, you know, and there was like a little fort that these homeless people had made. And I was like, oh man, you know, and then today I walked up, you know, to open up the gym and teach class, and then it was gone. And I was like, I love Glendale. They're quick on like making sure homeless people, and I mean it in like a nice way, because
let's make a short reel on that one.
How to remove homeless people
from your community.
Move to Glendale.
With Neo Cheche Yang.
But these guys, you would see them sitting and like lighting up stuff. Like, I don't know if it was crystal or like they're lighting up stuff in broad daylight. I'm like, dude, come on. So that's why I'm glad they're gone.
You like, take that shit to North Hollywood. No, not North Hollywood, actually. They're nice. Take it to Silmar. We don't have a location over there.
But, Grace, so you're in Glendale, you're a student. What does Grace like to do? Who is Grace as a person? What do you do on a normal basis? Like, tell us about yourself. Who is Grace?
Well, I've always been a very active person, like just any sort of movement, motion, like I was just always on the go. I grew up competitively dancing, so that's where my like fitness and being active comes from. And then in high school, I decided to quit dance and cheer. I was like in song. It's like a combination of dance and cheer.
Okay.
And then that's when I decided to pursue art and design and start making.
Did you do this in Diamond Bar too? Like were you like on the dance team and stuff like that?
Yeah, on the song team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then you said that got you into the arts.
Yeah, no, after my sophomore year, my parents and I were starting to like discuss like, okay, like what's the plan like after high school, like the college and stuff, and they didn't believe I could make a career with dance, at least not enough to what they would think is a quote-unquote successful life.
Got it.
I mean, that's also true. I feel like in the dance industry, it's very competitive, but that's just what I truly love doing. Like right after school, I'd be there till like midnight, like practicing, training every day. And so I didn't really want to quit. Like I remember I was like really sad, and I just like, they put me into SAT, which is like the test you take before like to get into college.
Okay.
And so I wasn't sure why I did that, because I knew I was set on going to an art college. they said it wasn't necessary, but it would help. Like it would put you at an advantage. And so I remember my parents, like, I guess against my own will, but I mean, at the time I just kind of followed their instructions and just believed that. I just remember being really miserable around that time. Like all my friends would be at games and like I just stopped going, and then I was doing SAT, boot camp, very intense, yeah.
There's boot camps for it?
Yeah, there's like 8 weeks like dense boot camps. I know in Diamond Bar especially there were so many like SAT like tutor places.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it would also be a place for like parents like could also leave their kids after school if they were working or couldn't pick them up for some reason. Yeah, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but a lot of my friends were struggling with that. So I remember I would always like go with them to these like after-school places, tutor places, and then after my sophomore year, yeah, my parents.
I just want to give a shout out to our police force and the fire department.
Get those homeless! Get those homeless! That's where they're going.
Town to safety.
Yeah.
14 sirens.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Don't even think of camping in Glendale. Right, Grace?
Wait, I just want to say, I don't want to be rude, but I just want to say, like, can we call them unhoused people? I did like a really big research project just a year ago on like the homeless unhoused people of LA, and okay, this really changed my perspective because I was just driving the other like couple months ago and I saw a guy who could literally look like my brother. He looked like my age. He was also Asian. I don't know if that was a thing, but it just really touched me at the time because it literally just looked like he could be my brother. And it just made me realize like you really just, I mean, there are also lots of negative stories and like I totally believe you're in control of your own life, but also there's so many instances where it was like forced upon them and it's just really sad. And so I saw this word unhoused people of LA, so I've just always been referring to
And what
that.
is that? Is that a community or something? Or is that just the word?
Just the word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
I don't know,
what do you
sometimes
think
I
are some
feel
things
bad.
that people can do to help these type of individuals?
Just help when you can, really. Like we can also just help to an extent. Like I know I can't always, like sometimes I don't have change or sometimes I need change for like parking that I saved up for, and like, but when I can help, I always do help. But I know like we can only help to a certain extent, so I try not to get too existential in that. But I know it's really bad in LA, but worst in New York of all.
Really?
Yeah,
In New York?
there's
I didn't know
no-
that.
It's pretty bad everywhere from what I've heard. Like San Francisco also has been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, just a little bit
lots
everywhere.
of robberies there.
I see.
But you know, going back to Grace, I remember when she came in, she just didn't even really want to do Muay Thai. She was just like, "Oh yeah, well, it's cool. Like I don't know." And I was like, "This is what I love. The story is like the people who go from, like they just kind of stumbled in, and they're just kind of intrigued to how hardcore she is now and part of the community and made so many friends. Does all the camps, bounces from this gym to the other gym. Are you doing sparring now or?"
Yeah.
Like all this stuff, and I love that because sometimes you just got to give it a chance, you know? Sometimes you just got to step in with faith and just be like, let me try it. And some people don't even do that, you know? And it's like, I just think in general martial arts, right? Not just ours, but like in general martial arts, it changes a lot of people's lives, you know? And it keeps them busy and out of trouble and stuff like that.
So
And good
much.
for,
Can you
like,
tell
mental
us a little
health.
bit about that? Do you remember that when you came in?
Oh my God, this is like, people ask me all the time, like, how did you hear about MTK? Because sometimes people are surprised to hear that, like, I just joined here. And I'm like, this was the best, like, surprise ever. Like, this was, like, the most unexpected, like, detour, like, I remember, like, it was Edwin, like, he's the reason why I'm here, like, he's, like, literally, like, I remember, it was during Mercury retrograde, too, if you believe in astrology. My phone got locked, and I remember, like, I thought it was the end of the world, and I remember just, like, like, looking for the AT&T store. I Googled one, there was one on brand, so I just, like, I came over here, and I remember Edwin standing outside right here, because I guess you guys had just opened up, like, hey, come try class out. And I remember walking up to you, and I remember asking, like, hey, do you know where the AT&T store is? And you're like, kind of looking at me like, no, but do you want to try a Muay Thai class? And I'm like, what's Muay Thai? Like, I've never heard of that word or phrase. And he's like, do you want to come in? And there was a class going on, so I just came to, like, look at the class, and he asked me if I've ever done any, like, boxing or MMA. And I've actually done 8 personal boxing training this January. It was, like, January to February. Yeah, and then I never looked back. I was like, okay, this I couldn't see myself doing it long term, and I didn't stick to it. Also, PT is more expensive, and so I just couldn't like commit to that any longer than I did. But it did give me like a general sense. Like I've heard the term jab cross before. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't totally foreign, but I've never like. It was like I was like definitely didn't know anything. And then when I saw kicking and knees, I was like, okay. Like I've always kind of like thought about. Oh, maybe I can get back into boxing or some sort of more like high intensity. I was really into yoga and Pilates this past 2 years, just kind of like letting myself slow it down and like tuning in. And then I was also at F45 and I was doing some strength training starting this January, and it was the first time I've consistently worked out for more than 6 months.
Okay. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. And I remember after I tried my first class, like I just knew I wanted to be here like as much as I possibly can. Like I've never been so out of breath after, and like that's what I wanted. I didn't realize like how complacent I was, not just like in my fitness journey, but also just like in general. Like if you're not uncomfortable and you're not like in some sort of pain or some sort of discomfort, like that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel
Been a
like
big
dance
lesson.
kind of helps set that bar for you of like that discipline? Because I mean, like Edwin said, you were kind of hesitant to start. You're like, what is this place? But then after your first class, you're like, oh my gosh. And then now for people that don't know you,
Yeah.
you come multiple times a day now. You know, you take multiple classes, and like Edwin said, you'll jump to both locations. You'll take the last class here, and then you'll quickly rush over and do sparring on Fridays, you know, right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I would see like you're teaching the Glendale class, and I'm like, okay, if he can make it there to there, I can make it too, right? I was like, okay, maybe I should ask. I think I asked you too.
Yeah.
But
And then I remember you would, I don't know if you still do it. Do you still run here?
yeah.
Every time she would come in, she'd be like, and I was like, are you taking a second class? She's like, no, I just ran from the house here. And I was like, oh, okay. But like, she would come in and she'd be like, and I'm like, every single time, you still do that?
I do walk here, yeah.
But she power walks or something, because she's
Oh,
huffing
okay.
and puffing when she gets here. She's probably better at it now that she takes multiple classes and stuff.
Because when she walks in, she doesn't look out of breath at all. She's just like, hi.
Remember the beginning?
Yeah.
You would come in here, it was cool. She was like, oh yeah, I love it. I just down the street and I figure it's a little bit more exercise. I was like, that's cool.
Nice.
Dedicated. Let me ask you this, Grace. Aside from obviously the classes being great, the coaches being great, like I've noticed that you've taken a liking into a lot of the people in the community. You made a lot of friends. Can you tap into that a little bit more? Because we've noticed that that's where really a lot of the inspiration comes from, the backbone of who we are as a company that we love to see, and it's the community. Can you tap into that? I was like, how your friends from here and how's that worked out for you?
100,000%. Like, I've honestly never understood the value of community and connection, and honestly, like, extreme commitment till I found MTK and met all you guys here. And a lot of like-minded individuals. Like, for the longest time, I thought there was like something wrong with me until I literally like came here and met the people around here, and like, oh, like there are like very like-minded individuals, like with high energy and all that. Yeah.
Love that, Grace.
I feel like that's like more. It's just like if you know, you know, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I love that because I noticed. I always see you together with different groups and different individuals, and we see it all across the gym, and it's just people how they just become friends. And to me, I think that's a formula that we have here. There's just we can't live without. We can't be successful without it, because I pretty sure from what I see from individuals and from what I've heard is that you support each other, you know what I mean? In any aspect, like whether you guys are going to go see a fight and you guys are going to carpool, or you guys are going to one location to the other, or somebody doesn't see one person, or somebody's sick, or just like, where have you been type of deal. And to me, I'm like, that's what it's about. You know, at the end of the day, the community that you guys build is what makes MTK in the long run stronger and more, gives us the energy to be like, we got to continue to do this and make more gyms like this, so other people can experience it in other cities and all that, you know?
Grace, a lot of people don't realize is that you guys are my inspiration. You know, believe it or not, I genuinely, and I know Edwin's the same, like when we see that we help people, it makes us feel so good, and it makes us just want to help you guys more. You know what I mean? People that are willing to put in the work and put in the sacrifice and the time for it, we just want to continue helping you guys even more. You guys are the reason why we get up super early, work 7 days a week. You guys are that reason, you know? So is actually that's what we get inspired by, is like you guys. And a lot of people don't. They're just like, man, how do these guys work so hard and relentlessly? It's you guys. Like, that's it. That's literally the answer. We love genuinely helping people. That's who we are as people, and that's ultimately what MTK is all about, is just supporting one another, uplifting each other, being that environment that we empower everyone. I don't care what background you come from, I don't care what your lifestyle was, what race you are, what ethnicity, whatever it is, you are always welcome. You know, people stay with us for a month, 3 months, 6 months, years. People come back. We always have open arms for everyone. Even if you've trained with us for a month, disappear for years, and come back later, we still got open arms for you guys. Once you're a part of MTK, you're always a part of MTK. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What would you say, Grace, to somebody who is on the way to the AT&T store and wasn't expecting to join a Muay Thai gym or anything like that, because you didn't wake up, or your intentions weren't to, hey, I'm going to go to this gym and really learn Muay Thai, because you didn't even know about it. But what would you say to somebody who is either looking to be part of a community, or is stressed out, or is looking for an outlet, or is looking to be part of something that's greater than them? What would you say to that person that's kind of hesitant, has never heard of Muay Thai, and comes across your video?
Keep an open mind. Never too complacent in one belief or thought or feeling. To stay flexible. Yeah, I think Kru always says, like, be adaptable.
Yeah,
Along the lines of that.
absolutely.
Yeah, like, just don't, like, come in thinking, like, no this, no that. Maybe not yes, but also not no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Grace, thank you so much for hanging out with us. But guys, that concludes another episode of Muay Thai Saved Me, guys. And if it's your first episode tuning in, just remember, guys, we do Muay Thai Save Me for one reason and one reason only, and that's just to bring on people that have discovered Muay Thai, and Muay Thai has impacted their life in an amazing way, just like Grace had mentioned in this episode with us. But guys, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you guys soon.